Vincent Veracek versus Bureau of Motor Vehicles, 45 CO1 1307 MI 108.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Today, continue.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Raise your right hand and respond. You solemnly swear to affirm that the whole truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Robert, could you please introduce yourself to the court by stating and spelling your full name for the record?
Robert Joseph Veracek, R-O-B-E-R-T, Joseph J-O-S-E-P-H, Veracek, V as in Victor, A-R-I-C-H-A-K.
And how old are you, Robert?
37.
What's your date of birth?
4/30/76.
And where do you presently reside?
I presently reside on 1022 Arbogast, as in Griffith, Indiana.
Okay. Have you since moved since the petition that was filed in this matter?
Yes, I did.
Okay, when did you move?
Just like a month ago.
And who do you reside there with, Robert?
I reside with my family, which is my girlfriend. I got 2 kids and an infant.
I'm sorry?
2 kids and an infant, and my girlfriend, Gina Decidas.
Okay. So there are 3 children altogether, is that right?
Yes.
Back in 2002, December the 20th of 2002, did you receive notification from the Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicles that your driver's license was being suspended for the remaining portion of your life?
That's correct.
Okay. And can you tell the court a little bit about why your license was suspended in December of 2002?
In 2002, I was a young man, irresponsible at the time, and made just a lot of huge mistakes. Didn't really care at that time because I had no family, and had a lot of, I think there was a speeding ticket on there, driving while suspended. Just all kinds of stuff that just snowballed. And at that point, I was just out of control.
Okay, so that was approximately 11 years ago. At that time, you were 26 years of age when you received that suspension?
Correct.
Okay. And a majority of the items that you accumulated on your driving record, was that during the period of time from the age of 18 to the period of time when you turned the age of 26?
Yes.
Okay. And you had various run-ins with the law as it relates to OWIs and things of that nature. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. After you received the suspension in 2002, for a period of approximately 9 years, had you been charged with any new criminal offenses in terms of driving?
No.
And in full disclosure to the court, in March of 2012 and in November of 2012, you were charged with 2 operating as a habitual traffic violator as C felonies, and those cases are presently pending in Judge Vasquez's courtroom. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And you have not entered a plea agreement as it relates to those charges. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, but is it your understanding that through plea negotiations that if you were to receive a rescission of your lifetime suspension and you were able to obtain a valid operator's license, that you may not have to enter a plea of guilty to those charges?
That's correct.
And Robert, just so the record is clear, you understand that if the court were to grant this rescission and that you were granted a operator's license, that you would have to maintain valid insurance. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, do you have the ability to acquire insurance for yourself?
Yes.
You have the financial ability to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Are you presently working, Robert?
Yes, I am.
Where are you working?
I'm working at Windsor Laundry.
What are you doing at
Windsor? Which is in
Windsor?
Highland, Indiana. I'm a attendant there.
And by attendant, what does that mean?
Basically taking people's laundry, do it, whatever needs to be done, fold it, help people out the door.
And how are you getting to and from work?
My girlfriend's taking me.
Okay, what are your hours?
I work in midnights right now. That would be 12 to 6.
And what time do you generally have to leave for work?
About 11:30.
Okay. And when your girlfriend takes you, you indicated that you had 3 children, is that right?
Yes.
Does it cause a hardship on the family for your girlfriend having to take you to and from work?
Very much so.
Okay, how does it cause a hardship on you and your family?
Well, I mean, I've got a 4-year-old, I got a 3-year-old, and my infant's 6 months old. And my girlfriend Regina, she tries to put them to bed. You know, sometimes they're up, down, and leaving at them time of hours and night. You know, it's just a burden on her.
Okay. You guys have to take the children with you when they take you to work, is that
Most
right?
of the time, yes.
Okay. Otherwise, you have to arrange for somebody to come over and watch the kids?
For a babysitter.
And is it also true that it's been at least 10 years since the date of your initial lifetime suspension?
Yes.
Okay, that would have been up in December of 2012, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And have you made other efforts to clean up other tickets that were on your driving record prior to us being in court today?
Yes, like I said, my driving record was just terrible, and for a period of time I was short on money. But as of late, I paid quite a few of my fines. Driving while suspended, I went back into court, a couple here in Lake County, and actually went in front of the judge and cleared them up.
And Robert, you haven't been convicted of any offenses under Indiana Code 9-30-1017, which is operating a motor vehicle as a habitual traffic violator, as a C felony. Is that right?
Yes.
But you have been convicted at least one time of violating Indiana Code 9-30-1016, which is operating a vehicle as a habitual traffic violator as a D. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, but that's only occurred once in the last 10 years or so.
I think so.
All right. And are you asking this court to rescind the lifetime suspension that's been issued as it relates to your driving privileges?
Yes, I am.
Do you think that that would enhance your ability to gain more valuable employment so that you can continue to help provide for your family?
Yes, I do.
Do you think that it would help in regards to not having to wake the children up in the middle of the night to be able to take you to work by your girlfriend?
Yes.
And if the court places any restrictions on you as it relates to you operating a motor vehicle, are you willing to abide by those terms and conditions?
Definitely, yes.
Okay. And again, you're willing to obtain insurance as it relates to operating a vehicle. Is that right?
Certainly, yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Cross-examination.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Veritek, do you have valid insurance now?
Not as of right now, but I do have funds for insurance.
How far away from Windsor Laundry do you work?
Approximately 3-4 miles.
Does your girlfriend work?
Yes, she does.
What shift does she work?
She works all different shifts. She works days or afternoons.
And I know that you are a lifetime HTV now. Were you previously adjudicated habitual traffic violator with a 5-year ban on driving privileges?
I think so. I don't recall, though.
Okay. And is it correct to state that you have 2 C felony HTVs pending right now?
They're pending, yes.
Where were you driving on regarding those felonies?
Your Honor, I will object. Those cases are still pending. I think the defendant still has a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination this afternoon.
That's fine.
You withdrawing your question?
I will withdraw that question. Mr. Veritek, I think you mentioned that you are noting a substantial change in your circumstances. Can you explain to me in your own words what exactly has changed?
Again, years ago, I was a young man. I did have a family. I did have a girlfriend. And my life was out of control when I was young. You know, I didn't have responsibilities, nor did I really care at that time, like a lot of young people do. But I mean, I kind of grew as to getting older, getting more mature. Got a family, got a girlfriend I've been with 7 years. Like I say before, I got a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, and a 6-month-old.
And just to be clear, the HGV lifetime ban came when you were 26 years old, right? You weren't a minor. You were an adult.
I think so, yes.
I have no further questions.
No follow-up here.
Only, Your Honor, that the state would oppose a rescission of the order for his HGV status. He's not deemed any real substantial change. He has had children. He lives only 3 miles away from his work. He could get there on a bike if he wanted to. And as his counsel noted, he has violated his HGV status twice. He has 2 pending C felonies for violating that status. He's repeatedly violated his HGV statuses in the past. He absolutely does not deserve the privilege of getting that rescinded because he can't abide by it. Just because he hasn't been convicted yet doesn't mean he hasn't violated it. Those cases are pending right now.
You may step up. How bad does your record have to be to get a lifetime suspension?
Very bad, Your Honor. I have a copy if you'd like to see.
Yeah.
Says may we approach it?
He's just learning how to do it. If he is granted, Mr. Colonel might be offering that way, but no. However, it is our position that he can qualify for that privilege because he has repeatedly violated HGV status. Well, he has been.
Decision.
think that offer was contingent. It was sort of both pairs argue it out, and should you get the better of the argument, both offers. However, it's still arbitration is qualified.
We'll pass this for now, Aaron, until I get Mr. Vega.
Yes. Okay, sir, you may. Dick Jovanovic versus prosecutor of Lake County, 45 CO1, 1307 MI 103. Okay, Mr. O'Donnell, you ready?
Yes, Judge. Go up to that. I do call Vuk Jovanovic.
Raise your right hand, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge. Be seated.
You could state your name.
Vuk Jovanovic.
And how old are you?
I'm currently 22 years old.
And is your social security number 331-965710?
That is correct.
And do you currently reside at 4937 Heron Drive, Cherville, Indiana 46375?
Yes, I do.
And your driver's license number is 536-004-8712, correct?
That is correct.
And you are currently suspended for a no insurance accident, correct?
That is correct.
And do you recall what date that accident was?
I believe it was June 15th. It was a Saturday.
Okay. And you didn't have insurance at the time, correct?
At the point of the accident, no.
And a couple days before the no insurance accident, you did purchase car insurance, correct?
Yes, I purchased bike insurance through Progressive.
Okay. And how did you purchase it?
Online.
Okay. And have you ever been suspended for a similar accident before?
No, I have not.
And where are you currently employed?
I'm at a Star Casino in East Chicago.
And how long have you been employed at Ameristar?
For 2 years.
Okay. And how have you been getting to and from work since your license has been suspended?
As of right now, family and a couple of my employees that work the same night shift with me.
And has the fact that you can't drive and have needed a ride from family and friends, has this been a hardship on you and your family?
Yes, it has.
And if you weren't granted a restricted license at this time, would you have any income whatsoever?
No, I would not.
And would you be able to support yourself?
Absolutely not.
And how far approximately do you drive to and from work? Is it approximately 13 and a half miles?
Yes, it is.
And were you acting as an employee at the time of this no insurance accident?
No, I was not.
And were you operating this bike for employment-related purposes?
No, I was not.
And do you now possess valid auto or bike insurance?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions.
Cross-examination.
Mr. Jovanovic, was there any injury caused from this accident?
I just had a couple blood rash bruises and a third-degree burn on my elbow, but it healed up fairly quickly.
Okay, so all of the injuries were to you.
Yes, they were.
Were there any to the other driver?
No, there was not.
Have you ever had a previous suspension?
No, I have not.
I have no further questions, sir.
Anything else?
Judge, I would just ask the court respectfully to grant the restricted license petition.
You can step down, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
State, anything?
No, Your Honor, it appears he does qualify.
All right. Court will grant the petition.
Judge, if I may approach with the orders?
You may. Derek Franklin, Lake County Prosecutor, 45 CO1 1309 MI 134. Franklin, take a stand, sir. With Joe Spetnoff here, go down to Mr. Franklin. Once raise your right hand, you solemnly swear affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Derek Franklin, Franklin.
Mr. Franklin, what is your date of birth, please?
September 20th, 1959,
And then, how old does that make you?
53,
Where do you reside at, Mr. Franklin?
4720 Railroad Avenue,
And what city is that in?
in Chicago, Indiana.
Okay. And has your license been suspended, sir?
Yes, sir.
Has it been suspended for a speeding charge and a failure to pay charge?
Yes, sir.
To the best of your knowledge, is that
Yes, sir.
correct? Are you presently employed by the East Chicago Housing Authority?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Franklin, if you are unable to get your license, can you be terminated by that employer?
Yes, sir.
So it is very important that you get your license, is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
And that's creating a hardship upon you?
Yes.
With the suspension, sir, how are you getting back and forth to work right now?
Right now, I catch the bus, and some of my riders, some of my co-workers that I work with, pick me up at times.
Okay, so that's also creating a hardship upon you to line up rides to work, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you were to get a restricted license by this court today, would you use your restricted license to get back and forth to work?
Yes, sir.
And would you also use it to get back and forth to your church?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you a habitual traffic violator?
Yes.
Sir, hold on. Are you a habitual traffic violator as defined under Indiana Code?
I don't think.
Sir, you would know if you were a habitual traffic violator.
Yes.
Do you know if you don't know if you're a habitual traffic
Yes, I think so. I think.
No.
You don't have habitual traffic violation?
No, I don't understand the question.
That's a person who gets an awful lot of tickets and loses his license for a long period of time.
Your driving record would be about 20 pages long.
No, sir. No, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't understand it.
Do you have any prior convictions for an operating while intoxicated?
No.
No. And again, what you would like to secure from this court is a restricted license to travel back and forth to work and back and forth to church. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right. And do you support anybody, sir?
Recently married. I've been married for about a month and a half now.
And this is your this job that you have right now, this is your sole source of income
Yes, it is.
to support you and your new wife?
Me and my wife, yes, sir.
Anything else that you'd like to add at this time, sir?
Just, my job requires that I drive, and it's so important. I will not have a job if I don't drive, and I'm just getting my life back established and trying to live right. And I'm just happy y'all have, mercy on me that I can able to make a living to take care of my family and get back and forth. That's what I have to do.
Thank you very much, Mr. Franklin. Nothing further.
See?
Mr. Franklin, excuse me, is public transportation available for you to get to work?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. At times, I'm in Chicago, so if I work overtime, I'm not able to, to get back. But
The bus service ends?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you drive during your work hours, like for your employer?
No, I'm not able to. But that's the reason to have that job. They've been lenient with me, but I have to have to drive the vehicles because I work maintenance and we on call. We go from
I see.
building to building.
So ordinarily, during your everyday work day, you would be driving for work?
Yes.
Those vehicles,
Yes.
okay. Just one second. Have you been suspended for more than 30 days?
Yes, I think so. Not recently, no.
Do you know why you're suspended?
Yes, for speeding. I was taking my daughter to Ball State, and years ago, and I was speeding going down 65.
Was it for the speeding or for maybe a failure to pay that speeding ticket?
It was a failure to.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Anything else, Joe?
Your Honor, we just respectfully request a restricted license. This gentleman's livelihood depends on it, his life depends on it, and so we just ask the court to grant it.
You may step down, sir. Thank you. All right, anything else? Any arguments?
No, Your Honor, I have no objection to a license restricted to and from the workplace and during the course of his employment, as well as, I believe you mentioned, church.
Okay, repetition.
Your Honor, we appreciate that. May I tender an order within a short order? Thank you, Your Honor.
You have an order, oh, you don't have, okay, you're bringing an order in?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you.
You're free to go.
Have a great day.
Okay, be back with this other case here yet. Hardship. Be back. Okay.
Judge, Mr. Hay conferred with Mr. Pacific to confirm the representations that I made to the court at the bench relative to the agreement that we have for the 2C felonies presently pending. Judge, I guess in short, I would just indicate that I know the court reviewed his driving record. If the court looks at it, primarily the stuff that was on there was from the ages of 18 to the ages of 26. And while there are allegations that he was operating a vehicle in 2012, given the time frame from which there were absolutely no allegations of any violations of the lifetime suspension, the state of Indiana, through the efforts of my client, in terms of cleaning up various portions of his driving record, has come to this possible resolution in the criminal matters. Judge, he's 37 years old. I would hope that he's learned from the ways of his past. He does have 3 children now.
Yes, the state that
I spoke to the deputy prosecutor, Vega. We just defer to the court's discretion.
Well, are they offering this man a license to defer these cases if I rule them?
From what he told me, it would appear that if he were able to get his license back, then they would defer those cases.
Well, it doesn't sound like the state's really objecting to this man driving the vehicle.
We're deferring to the court's discretion.
Well, I mean, if they're the court's discretion, if you're going to defer to C felonies.
That would only be, Your Honor, if you decided to give him.
And if I decided not to, well, then what's the state going to do? Put him in jail?
I suppose then the C felonies would have to face some other resolution.
And we will proceed with the charges.
I know
What's the resolution if the court were denied it?
Judge, the offer then was to plead to both of the counts and that he serve 6 years in the Department of Corrections.
Well, how could they put something like this on the circuit court? It's either 6 years or the circuit court gives them a driver's license. I don't know anything so preposterous.
I don't think it's so much putting it on the circuit court.
Well, it certainly is. If I don't want to do 6 years,
Well,
that's like me sentencing him to 6 years. I mean, I've never heard of anything like this.
well, Judge, and I would agree with the court's conclusion that if the state is willing to defer both of those HTV, essentially what the intent is that they're going to file an amended information, adding 2 A misdemeanors, driving while suspended, and deferring both of those consecutive to one another for a total deferral period of 2 years. And the
Why
thought
aren't they
process,
willing to do that without a determination from this court?
because they want to make sure that he's got a driver's license. I think everybody was in agreement that they want to make sure that he has a license, that he has valid
So
insurance.
why don't they defer them and then come here and ask for the driving?
Your Honor, we can't speak to that. And in my discussion with Prosecutor Vega, he did not discuss an alternative course of action if you were to not grant this petition with me.
Obviously discussed it with counsel.
Fortunately, he did not discuss it with me, so I can't speak to that.
Judge, and I do have a copy of the code if I can approach, just so the court can take a look at it.
When is he set in the criminal matter?
Judge, we're set for trial next month. Or, excuse me, pre-trial next month.
Well, I would certainly like the state to grant the deferrals, and then you should come back here and ask for this. It would seem like the cart is before the horse. I mean, you're asking me to do something where you got 2 Class C felons. And then the state says, well, so the court will do this, we'll do this. I mean,
I understand, Judge. I just think the state wants to confirm that he's eligible to receive his license under the statute.
well, let me put it this way. I mean, taking everything else into consideration, if he didn't have these 2 C felonies pending, he may very well have this granted.
Sure.
You know, 10 years he's been suspended. I think that's why the statute was written, but with 2 C felonies pending, and the state dangling the carrot out there, contingent on what I do, I think it should be the other way around. I should act contingent on what the state does. If the state was willing to grant the deferral, then I would think that I would go ahead and grant the hardship. I mean, do you see where my logic is?
Certainly, Your Honor. I just note that Prosecutor Pacific and I are in the county division of, we've had no negotiations.
Well, I understand that.
It's beyond our scope.
But I guess would the court consider this? Would the court consider granting him a rescission of the lifetime suspension conditioned upon him entering into the pretrial diversion agreements on the 2A misdemeanors as proposed? And so essentially what would be happening is that it would be happening simultaneously, because the court would be granting the rescission, but it would be conditioned upon the entry of the deferrals on the 2 other cases. And so then we would have a convergence of both the
I think I should go along with something like that. Because that's pretty much what I'm asking. I'm asking
Sure.
That's pretty much what I'm telling you. Should be contingent on what the state does, not on what I do. And I would be perfectly willing to grant him the petition if I knew what the resolution would be. Then, if it's what you say it's going to be. I mean, if you had a conviction there, then it would be another issue, obviously.
Well, then he wouldn't be eligible under the statute, under Section 16. Judge, then I guess I would just ask to continue this matter generally, and once we obtain the deferral agreement in criminal room 1, I'll bring a file stamped copy of that over
To represent what I've said, you've got prosecutors here.
Very good, Your Honor.
Take that representation.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All rise.
You learn anything later?